Hey, how's it, Cowboy Buzz here? How you doing? All right, so yeah, this is I said I was gonna make a video about the releasing of Zeke. Yes, he was one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite Cowboys, and all that. But like the reason why I'm making this video separately is because my friends was texting me like they're like, "Hey, how you doing, guy? They released Zeke, and I was like, "Yeah, I know." Am I disappointed? Yes, I was very disappointed. Um, but at the same time, come on, it's the Dallas Cowboys. You know, I woke up to. I mean, I got my rude awakening to the business when we traded Herschel Walker, and when we got back, what happened with the trade and all that, we got Emmitt Smith. Eh, I'm all good. And then the only thing is like with the Emmitt Smith thing, when was the thing that Bill Parcells could replace Emmitt Smith with Troy Hambrick. That I'll never know. I'll never understand that. But then we got, eventually we got, rest in memory, rest in peace, Marion Barber. And, he instantly became one of my favorite players. And, and the watching, but then like when you saw the decline of the offensive line and with the contract that we gave him, you saw his production go down. And so he had to be a cap casualty and all that. So yeah. Um, then when we drafted Zeke, I was super happy because I was like, okay, our defense is not that is not that good yet, and and we got the best offensive line. You saw what DeMarco Murray did, man. We're gonna get way more production, than that with Zeke and all that. Unfortunately, Romo gets hurt. Romo gets hurt and in enters Dak. And this is not bashing Dak and all that. You know, the thing is I loved about that year with Dak. I think that version of Dak more than more than any other version of Dak now. You know, the um, the effectiveness of how he played, the efficiency that Dak played with, was so great. Now mind you too that our offensive line was the best in the league at that time. You know, in run blocking, in pass protection, there was no offensive line that could be touched. So Dak was in full trust mode that he had Zeke keeping the offense the offense and the offensive line keeping them very manageable situations, not getting penalties. You know, rather than third and 8, third and 10, third and 12, we was in always constantly like in third and 4 and all that kind of stuff, or third and ones and all that kind of stuff. And we still was getting a lot more contribution, production from Dez. And Witten was still there, but you starting to see it wane in the following years. So while we was trying to replace weapons, and trying to make the wide receiving core a little bit better, and then trying to fix our defense because our defense was a bend don't break type of defense. One thing we did neglect was the offensive line because after and it's not totally on the Cowboys front office. Is just after 2016 we lose Ronald Leary and Doug Free retires. Then all hell then everything had hit the fan with Tyron Smith after that injury bug had hit. He was never the same. We still good with Travis Frederick and Zach Martin, but then in 2018 we lose Travis Frederick to his illness. Looney did his part. Looney did his damnedest to be. It just wasn't the same. It was a band-aid and all that. It was okay, but wasn't how it was. Then by 2019 you could see like, man, this offensive line is not good already. The left guard, we never could find the replacement for the left guard. Tyron Smith could not stay healthy. Either issues. I think a lot of times Lyle Collins was suffering from a lot of issues. Then by 2020, 2021, our offensive line was just done. It was not the same already. It was one of the worst offensive line. So and then like I said, our defense was a bend don't break defense. They tried everything. Sometimes you wish that Dan Quinn was part of the team, the part of the team in 2015 because like, Byron Jones for one. he could play opposite of Diggs, and on top of that too, if he had a matchup, because let me put it this way, he had a vision of, like, now this version of Dan Quinn, he has a vision of what he wants to do with the player, and I think he would have had that vision of either making them just putting them like, okay, who's their best wide receiver? That's the best wide receiver is the tight end. Byron Jones, get him, and we'll make do, you know. Then Randy Gregory. I mean, even though Dan Quinn's first year, first year with the Cowboys did awesome things with Randy Gregory. The problem was is that Randy Gregory never did finish 16 games. He was always missing. He was always out. Never did finish a full season and all that. So it is what it is with that. Um, I mean, we had one great year out of Jalen Smith. We took a gamble on that. We had one good year out of Jalen Smith. Um, Taco Charlton thing and all that. That was and then LV was a good pick and all that, but his injuries and then so happy that he bounced back last year and all that. Then Tristan Hill. I mean, that was a wasted pick to begin with. So yeah. Um, so by the time we fixed our defense, the offensive line wasn't the same, and and Zeke took a hell of a beating and all that. And then like I said, with this going back to the offensive line, Zeke is a guy that he needs to hit the hole then make his move. He's not a running back that's going to be making moves in the backfield and all that. Sometimes when he was getting hit in the backfield, Zeke with his effort, he's gonna fight like hell to get back to the offensive line, at least in the line of scrimmage at least. And by that time there's like there's 4 or 5 of the defensive front seven hitting him and all that. So yeah, he took a beating. The thing is, like, what cracks me up too is like, for the fans that didn't want Zeke to begin with, hey, that's your opinion and all that. But to be happy that he's gone and all that kind of stuff, you know, it is what it is with that. The ones that is like, okay, it's a business deal, and like how I am, you may love Zeke and all that, but then this the production and the money wise, it is that. The only thing for me as being a fan of Zeke is that what hurts is that we wasted that part of it. If I mean, imagine having some of our, like, I'll say 2000, let me put 2021's wide receiving core and our defense with our offensive line and with Zeke and Dak the way they was playing. It would be a scary, scary freaking team, but it doesn't always work out that way and all that. So yeah, I mean, some of it is just we was hitting on the offensive players and we wasn't hitting on the defensive players. Could be the coaching that would have visions of what they wanted to do with the defense and all that kind of stuff. Rather than just being whatever, and and then injuries. I mean, injuries have a huge part to do with it and all that. So it was unfortunate, but hey, I was happy to see those three great damn years of Zeke, and then this is overall effort, was awesome. Okay, so that's my video. Mahalo for watching. Paniolo boys, who you with? You know who I'm with. I'm with the Dallas Cowboys.